Here we go.
All right.
All right, everyone. This is America's kick-ass career coach, Mo Faul, and I'm here with my friend, my client, Rosalind. Rosalind hails from the Philly, Jersey area. She's a Jersey girl. I think you're working in Philly, aren't you?
Yes, I am working.
Okay. Yes. So she crosses the border. Rosalind was a delightful, delightful client in the kick-ass program, and I'm so happy, Rosalind, to tell your story. I got to tell you, so many women I speak to on the Clarity Call, I talk about you because you had some rough times. You had some rough times that befell you, and you just went for it. And I'm so eager to share your story to inspire other women who might be facing some similar challenges, who might be facing some similar, what do I do now? And just kind of share your story. So several months back, you want to kind of set the stage. You had been laid off from a job that you were at for 23 years, was it?
22.
Take us back there and kind of tell us a little bit about that. And
yeah, that whole experience was so surreal. It was so surreal because it blindsided me because I thought I was doing what I had to do, but then at the same time, I was a caregiver to my mother, and so I, was missing a lot of time, and I thought that my track record, because I was always exceeding. I thought that my track record would speak for itself. But then looking at, hindsight is 2020, they moved me to a new team, and I wasn't able because, and I don't like to say this, I really don't, because my mom said, you lost your job because of me. And I was like, no, I lost my job because of me. And I said, you can't take the blame. I said, I'm not going to let you do that. And so that's why I'm very careful when I talk about that.
yeah.
But I just took my eyes off the prize for a bit, and that's all it took.
Yeah.
And so, and that's what happened. And it was like, I was at a period of my life where I was losing everything. I lost my job, and then I lost my dad, and then I lost my mom, and then I was about to lose my house. I just felt like I compared myself to Job, because I was just losing everything. And I was just in a spiral and just in a dark place.
Yes.
And so, but that's okay, because I always know, because I'm an eternal optimist.
Yeah.
And I always know that if you don't give up, if you don't give in, there will be a bright side. So, and that's what I held on to.
Yeah. And one of those days when you were in a place of feeling like I need some help, you came across a Facebook ad with probably, I don't know, my face on it or something like that. And you spoke to one of my colleagues. Talk about what was going through your mind when you were kind of saying, whoa, maybe I need something else here.
Oh yeah, definitely. I definitely needed something. And when I was losing my job, actually it was an HR person at my old company, Verizon, who introduced me to you and your website. And she was the one who said, take a look at this, check it out. And immediately, as soon as I saw it, I heard everything, and I was like, okay, this is what I need. This is definitely what I need. And in the beginning, I talked to folks. I called. I had my clarity call, and I knew this was what I needed, but I didn't have the funds at the time.
Yeah.
So I just kept on following, and the opportunity came for me. The funds came around for me, and the first thing I did was sign up.
Yes, indeed. And I'll never forget when you told me your story and where you were being out of work for 7, 8 months at the time we first met, something like that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
And you were on the verge of the house problem.
Yeah, yeah,
That was facing you.
I got the notice, and I think I was a basket case. Yeah, a basket case.
Yeah. But here's the thing, Rosalind. Here's the thing. You totally were ready to receive help. You were totally ready for the support. You were totally ready to lean into what you needed to do things differently. And I'll never forget that post that you made on either the night before or the day before you went to court for your house. And you're like, pray for me.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen. And you were maybe in week 2 or 3. You just kind of started in the workshop. You had gotten a certain sense of alignment, and you were starting to feel a little bit like you were coming back alive a little bit in my recollection of what was going on. And I don't know if you want to tell the story. It was one of the first miracles that came your way.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know what was going to happen. I found this lawyer, and I went to him, and I had the mindset. I met with Jean before I went, and we talked about a time. She said, when was a time when you really felt in your power? And there was a time when I was going to school, and I got a notice that said that I didn't have enough credits to graduate. And when I got the message, I went to my advisor, and I said, you stay right there. I'm coming to see you. And, and I could, and I could feel the tension in her voice. And when I got to her, I knew when I went there, I said, I'm not leaving here without my degree. To see her, I said, you pull out my transcripts, you do what you got to do. I said, I'm not leaving here without a degree. And I didn't leave there without one. And so, Jean, after that, she's like, okay, now use that same power when you go to, to the attorneys. Yeah. You're not leaving here without your house. Yeah. And so I tapped into that same, I call it my Wonder Woman.
Yes.
Stance. And I was so prepared, and I sat in his waiting room waiting for him. And when I got there, he was like, he said, I spoke with the bank, and and this and that, and if you pay beyond, you do what you have to do, you're going to keep your house. And I just sat there and I looked at him, and I said, well, okay, so what do I owe you for all this? What do I owe you? And he said, nothing. He said, just refer people to me. And I was just like, okay. Then I thought, okay, let me hurry up and get out of here before he changes.
Before they change their mind. So I want to reel back for those who don't understand how the universe works. And I know that you're a woman of faith. And there is an undeniable calling of our source, our divinity. When we step in to our power and we proceed with faith, it showers us. It comes our way. When we are playing small and scared and don't believe, we get small, scared, and all kinds of scary things coming our way. You stepped into your power. You owned your future. You said, if it's going to happen, I've got to do something differently. I've got to believe that there's something more for me. And you stepped in, and the miracles kept coming your way. That was the beginning of from your coach's perspective. And Jean's an awesome coach. For those of you who don't know, Jean works with me and for me here in my Kick-Ass course, and she is an excellent coach. And she helped you find that superpower inside of you. And absolutely, you had that tool belt. Boom! I got this.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened, and I kept that. And then after that, and then as I stayed with the course, and anything you told me, I just did it. You told me to ramp up my LinkedIn, and of course, and then other like recruiters kept contacting me, because before I would get interviews and things like that, but nothing would happen. And
Right.
it was so discouraging.
Yes.
And so I just stayed with, I just stayed in my power. And the recruiters kept contacting me, and then nothing would come and nothing would come. And then I ramped up my LinkedIn.
Yep.
And when I started, I had 190 some LinkedIn connections. Now I'm almost at 500.
And you did something special. So in my workshop, module 3, you step into your full power. You make a video statement about how awesome you are and the great work you do. It's to help you queue up for those phone interviews, or when you go into a personal interview, you have a couple of sound bites that you're just ready to talk about how awesome you are in a very aligned way. And I said, Rosalind, that elevator pitch is so good. I bet it would look really, really good on your LinkedIn profile. And they had just started a couple of months prior accepting video on LinkedIn.
Right.
And
Yeah.
you were like, okay.
I set myself up in my dining room and set it up, and I did it. I did it. And I had a lot of hits and things like that. And the calls started coming in, and it was just amazing. It was just amazing.
Yeah.
And I just, I was amazed, but then I wasn't, because
Yes.
I knew that, I knew that if I did my part, everything was going to work out.
Yes. 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 I'll never forget. So you had a lunch date with 2 little hotshot recruiters.
Right. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And you were excited, as well should be. You're looking for a job, so you're like getting taken to lunch by recruiters because they're seeing, wow, we can really help this woman land something. And tell us how that went, because that was an interesting twist of a story.
Yeah, because I met with this recruiter, and basically I thought I was going to get a job or whatever, and then he told me, he said, well, I don't have anything right now.
Right.
So I said, okay. And so we just sat there, and we had lunch, got to know each other, and we just had a great time talking and things like that. And then I had another recruiter that didn't have anything for me at the time, but I just let them get to know me. I got to know them. And the time came. When the time came, they were like, recruiter she said, let's get Rosalind back to work. Rosalind needs to be back to work.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it wasn't a position, or it's not the position that I wanted, or or anything like that. But I'll tell you something. Today I reached out to my LinkedIn connections, and some of the old people that I worked with at Verizon are now at Comcast, where I'm at, and I'm at the headquarters. Mm-hmm. And I reached out to them, and I on a whim, I said I got to start building this network, and I work my network. And I reached out to her, and the first thing she said, hello, awesome. I was like, oh my God. Hello, awesome. And she's high up in the company. And she says, well, I'm at a summit this week. Get on my calendar, and let's meet next week. So I'm on her calendar for next week. And so we'll just see what happens from there.
Bravo. So I got to say something, Rosalind. So first of all, congratulations on keep stepping into your power. Congratulations on continuing to imagine something more for you. Here's the thing. The Rosalind I met before when you were just starting in the workshop, she would have never done that.
No.
She would have been like, what will she say? What will they think? I don't know. You own your soul's power right now, and anyone watching this can see it just coming through.
Yeah.
And so here you are going, you know what? It's good that I have a paycheck. It's good I'm working. It's good all this, but you know what? It's not what I want to do. I want more. I want to keep excelling. And so let me just check out who I can network with. And you made a good point. You got to work the network for the network to work for you.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. All
Oh,
right. Oh.
with that, more to come.
Yeah. So let's dive in just a little bit, if you don't mind, a little reveal. Well, before we went on to the recording, the interview, we talked a little bit about, I felt like you were kind of a little bit in comatose land when you first came into the workshop. You knew you needed something more, but you were a figment of who you are.
Right.
Tell me a little bit about your own personal unveiling, your own personal coming into your own self again. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, I knew I was in a dark place.
Yeah.
I was in a very dark place. I it was hard. It was hard because before I had things, you're making well, in the six figures or whatever, and then to be reduced to nothing, and then times I had to, I had to sell jewelry. I had to, I did what I had to do to survive, and like I said, I sold jewelry. I was selling off. I sold my mom's car. Different things like that, just to keep it. I said, I got to get through this, even though it was a dark place.
Yeah.
I knew that there's another side. You don't give up. You don't give up and you don't give in. And it was getting harder and harder. I was getting the rejections, so many rejections. And I think I at one point I counted them.
You did, because you, as the proper analyst that you are, you did, because you actually shared that with me on one of our coaching calls. You're like, no, I got 43 rejection letters from, I don't know, that company or that, and you're like, I don't want to keep applying. That's too many rejections. I'm like, well.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they accepted me the last time. They always accept you on the last time. Okay?
Yeah, right. Exactly. It's never enough until it's the last time, right? So I drew a little picture. I don't know if people can see this. So this was you at the beginning, point A.
Yeah.
This is you now, like happy person, point B. Here's your beliefs. And this is the bridge. The bridge from point A to point B is built on beliefs. And I know that your beliefs got so much stronger on who you are, what you have to offer. And really, you started to believe in yourself in such a way that you're like, this is going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm going to get it. This is going to happen. You were strong on that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. I definitely believed in myself. I definitely did. And I stayed in gratitude.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I was grateful. I still am. And as a matter of fact, one of the people that I reached out to on LinkedIn, I said, I just wanted to meet with you. I'm grateful, for us knowing each other, and grateful for you believing in me. And she reached out and she said, wanted me to write a commendation letter to her boss. So I wrote a commendation, I'm grateful. So I wrote a commendation for her, and I was really appreciative for her help, and for her being an advocate, and for her still being an advocate.
Yeah.
And I have no qualms whatsoever. I just stay grateful for everything. And, it's just, even though things still aren't that easy, but they are, I see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I know in my heart, I know in my heart that.
Yeah. So you're a singer, And when I found that out, I asked you to post something that you sang, and you posted something that you sang in church, and everyone in the workshop was cheering you on and really, really acknowledging how awesome it was. I know that when women have a special talent like you do, we got to work for a living, make our earn our keep, etc. We have natural gifts and talents that go in the workplace, and we do all of that. But your true joy,
Oh, yes.
is singing, and I know that joy came back to you as you started to believe in yourself more and see yourself as awesome, and started getting seen as someone who was talented, not just with singing, but in work. And when we bring that contribution to work and start feeling good about ourselves, and recruiters are calling, or we're interviewing, we're talking about ourselves, talking about our work history, the things that we've done, and all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, I am now ready to express a lot more of my talent. So share a little bit about what you've been doing with your singing since you are back to work now and living it.
Yeah, because for a while, after everything happened, I couldn't sing.
Yeah.
I just didn't feel like it.
Yeah.
I just feel like it. And I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do it. But I know it was something that gave me so much joy. It gives me so much joy. Yeah. And so a friend of mine has a show, and he calls me to do the show with him. And now I'm like the feature.
Of course she is. She's the Wonder Woman, the powerhouse.
I know, and people look for me, and the venue that we sing at, or that he plays at, he has like a lot of different jazz musicians that come in and sit in, and he's a very accomplished musician, and then other musicians come in, and people, they look for me. They're like, where is she? And they see me come through the door, and I'm like a rock star. I'm like, oh.
Of course you are. Of course you are.
Yeah, and I go up there and I take the mic, and it's like it takes me to another place.
Yes.
My body starts moving, I start swaying, and I just feel so good. I feel so good, and that's why I missed the call a couple times, because I had the grad call, because I have to go and sing. And
well, I got to tell you, please feel free to share your singing anywhere you want on any of my social media. Feel free to share anything about it. People in the Philly, New Jersey area, wherever you're singing, just be delighted. The beautiful thing is when you allow yourself to be aligned with your power again, that joy now has a channel to travel in, and it was closed off. It was the door was shut. And I totally understand why you didn't really feel like singing, because your channel for joy was not open. Yeah. And one of the reasons why I focus on career is because it's like the easiest channel to kind of reopen. Mm. You had some heartbreak with your mom and dad passing. Mm. That just takes some time to heal from that. Yeah. The career we can get at. It's specific, it's tangible, there's things to do, but all the while you were opening your channel of joy. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And now you're a full expression of who you are. You're continuing to expand. You're reaching out to people to move your career forward or network, whatever you're doing. And it doesn't surprise me that you're just showing up as the rock star that you are, singing and just enjoying everything about how awesome you are. Yeah. I feel it. I definitely feel it. So I know coming to work with me, Rosalind, was a stretch of time, commitment, and money. And on that 1 hour clarity call, we try to help understand if we can really help this woman. Part of my passion in life is to help as many women as I can move from living in their fear to taking their future and just totally going for it. What would you say to someone who's kind of like, I don't know if I can be great again. I don't know if I can be awesome. I don't know if I can really get into my future. What would you say to them?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You have to find your power. You are great. It's not it's not that it's already there. It's already there and you can't be don't be scared.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Don't be afraid to step in your power. You've got to do it. And sometimes, you need Mo.
Sometimes it's necessary.
Yes, yes, because um, you've got to believe in yourself. Um, but sometimes your self-talk talks you out of things that really you really don't you really have to challenge yourself, and sometimes you don't know how to challenge yourself. Sometimes you're in a place you don't know what to do, or
Yeah.
you know that you need to do something but you don't know what to do. So with just being with you and the ladies and
Yeah.
listening to story, you know that you're not alone, you're not different.
Right. Oh, there's my little puppy coming. You
Okay.
want to see Roz? You want to see Rosalind? Yes. She heard an awesome, beautiful soul was here, so she wanted to check you out, Rosalind. Yes, you know, I've had a coach for 18 years, not the same one, but I've had a coach consistently for 18 years. I was hitting my head up against the glass ceiling, the brick wall, whatever it was, and I needed someone to give me an additional perspective, to show me some things I didn't know, to help see things in me that I had lost. And I know that you had felt that way, and we unpacked all that. Let's
Yeah.
get in
Oh,
there and see how awesome Rosalind is.
yeah. And don't think, just do. You have to trust the process.
Yeah.
You have to
Yeah.
be open. And when you open yourself up, you don't know what what you're capable of. You just believe in yourself and just trust,
Yeah.
trust. And that's what I did. And I feel so much better.
Well, you trusted your inner guidance, and that voice of your soul was loud enough for you to listen to that whisper and to go into it, knowing, I think you said this earlier, knowing that what you were doing wasn't working out for you.
No, it wasn't. It was not working out at all. And I knew that I needed more. I knew that something was missing. And when I lost, my mom was like my confidant, um, she was my kick-ass person before.
I got you on that.
She was my kick-ass. And so I needed a kick-ass.
I think your mom came right down to me and said, "Mo, you got this, right? You got Rosalind on the next phase, right?" And I'm like, "I
Yes,
got her."
got her.
That's so awesome. So awesome. What's your plans for what's your next plan? What do you got next up for yourself for your life?
Oh, well, I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing. I'm going to just continue to forge ahead and move ahead, and with moving ahead, with the job scene.
Yep.
Keep and also keep with the singing.
Yeah.
Um, when I'm singing, some folks have tapped me on the shoulder and offered me certain little things, and want me to record and things like that. And of course, I have to look into them, make
Yes,
sure
right.
make sure they're legit.
Right, right. And you know how to do that. I know
Yeah,
you know how to do that.
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. And so I'm gonna continue to do that, just there's no limit. There's no limit. I just, you know, I see myself. I see another house. I see my vision board. I see, you know, I see a you know, more vacations and more, you know, possibly a marriage on the horizon. Who knows if he's good? You know, we'll see.
Right. Absolutely. I hear you on that. You
Yeah.
know, more than one woman who's come through this work that I do has found their awesome, totally found their power, totally in the flow, and they're focused on who they are. All of a sudden, the right man shows up. Interesting, because now the powerful you is a match for the powerful him.
Yeah.
Not needy, not, oh, I hope he cares about you're like at a point where you're finding the guy who can take all of you.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
We've had weddings. We've had weddings. Yeah, we have. As a matter of fact, I need to get Joy Davis Burke on this interview because she was one of my first. She was like, Mo, I got my dream job, finished my MBA. I don't have my dream man, and then like 2 months later, I get a little note card from her. You'll never guess what happened. I know what happened. She's married now and off to her beautiful honeymoon, and life is just glorious. That's what happens when you find yourself.
Yeah, yeah, and I can see that happening, you know.
Yeah, nice.
Jury's still out, you know. I'm still in charge, so you know.
Always, always. Well, I see the powerful, beautiful you showing up right here next to me on this interview, and Rosalind, it makes my heart so warm and so full to know that you've got your life back, you've got your career back, you've got your singing back.
Yeah, yeah.
So wonderful.
I thank God for you. I thank God for you. I thank God that I found you. I just, I don't know. I don't know where I would have been. And I'm just so thankful for you.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I'm thankful for you. Without women who've made a few, you know, journeys in the wrong direction, not for your fault. You were handed a piece of your journey that took you sideways. You know what? And you did the right thing at the time.
Yeah.
So I'm glad whoever introduced and made this connection, it was divinely put together, and you are absolutely shining from the inside out, and I am so happy. And I want to thank you for sharing your story, because I know it's going to inspire dozens, if not hundreds of women to know, you know what, I can do this too. I can put my life back together.
Absolutely.
I can find my awesome again.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
great. Thank you for joining me tonight. I really appreciate seeing you here tonight. Thank you for sharing.
Good seeing you again.
Likewise.
All right.